Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Hello my friends, welcome to my November TBR. Yes, it is time to do it. I can't believe it. So yeah, we are going to go over all the books that I will for sure be reading in November, as well as ones I hope to read in November, as well as a couple of books that are on my 10 until the end list. I guess we'll put about half of them on there. We also have book club in November, which is great. My quarterly book club I do with my bestie from Crystal's Bookish Life. And yeah, we are ready to bring in the last 2 months of the year is coming up at us here. That's just wild. Oh, they just go faster and faster, my friends. They sure do. But anyway, before I dive into this, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Please give this a thumbs up, hype this video if you know how to do that, and subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos 4 times a week, and if that's still not enough content for you, you can check out my Patreon. That is the life's blood of what I'm able to do here so that I can make this content full time, which will never stop being amazing. And you will also get behind the scenes vlogs as well as exclusive reviews there. And it's just a great time. So definitely come and check me out there. And speaking of my Patreon, the books that I will be reading for Patreon are as follows. First up, we have the exclusive read I was talking about. And the theme for November was caretaking in a book or a sickbed scene in a book. And this could happen in multiple different ways. And the book that ended up getting voted on was Revive Me by Nikki Castle, which, if I'm correct, I'm not bringing up all the notes for all these, but if I remember that blurb correctly, it has to do with I think he's a fighter. I think that is mostly what she writes, right? But either way, it's an athlete who gets injured, and I believe it's in is it their like physical therapist or whatever, but either way, there will be sickbed and caretaking things happening in that one, because that was the theme. Other books that I will be reading is Throne of Ice and Blood. I will be reading First and Favorite. I don't have the author names written down. Both of those books, I will be reading the first book in the series this month still. I haven't read them yet, so very intrigued about what's to come. There will be a reread of Stolen Touches by Neva Altai. I love that one of my patrons wants this whole series annotated. That's going to be amazing, so we'll be doing that one. I will be rereading Wild Side by Elsie Silver and annotating this one, which I have already highlighted a few parts of it because this one was in one of my favorites boxes that I did. But I'm actually really happy that Amber picked this one, because one of the things that I always do in December is reread my favorite books. And this year I haven't had too many 6-star reads, but there are a few books I'm going to reread that weren't 6 stars that I think could be. And Wild Side was one of them, okay? Because after I had Wild Love and Wild Eyes, I thought that I just needed to cool it and maybe stop giving these books 6 stars. But then I read Wild, what was it? Crap. What was book 4? Wild Card. I was like, but Elsie's just so damn good. And so I'm excited to reread Wild Side and annotate it and see if that one should be in my favorites of the year. And then I would already have reread it too, so I won't have to reread it again in December, which will be great. I will also be doing All This Time for Lata. I'll be reading that one. That one looks fascinating, actually. And then In the Game for my patron Megan. This will be book 3 in the Sloane St. James series, and I'm very intrigued to read more of hers. And then the other 2 will be Hero by Claire Kent and Hold the Line by Julia Wolf, which we are very familiar with those ones for sure, which will be wonderful. So yeah, very excited for a lot of those ones. Then we're going into ARCs, ALCs, and new books that will be coming. ARCs are advanced reading copies, ALCs are advanced listening copies, and or new books that are coming out that I just want to get to. Okay, so let's go through this list, and then we will get to a few other things that I'll be doing. So there is The Fix by Mia Sheridan. I had this on my TBR for October because this comes out November 1st, so I won't go into the details again. Obviously, I haven't got around to this one yet. This is supposed to be a romantic suspense. I won't read the whole blurb again because I've done it for this book quite a few times, but I still haven't been in the mood to pick up a book like this one yet. I may end up, when the audiobook comes out, diving in that way, but this was sent to me from the publisher, so I do want to try to get to it. I have to be in a mood to read romantic suspense of that type that is also more thrillery, so I'm just being real about it. We'll see if I get around to that one. There is See You Next Winter by Holly June Smith. This one will be a audiobook from Must Love Audio. I believe this one is already out, but I will be getting an ALC of it, so that is fun. There is Bad Bishop from LJ Shen. This is the first book in a new Dark Mafia series, and boy, I am already so pumped for this one. I'm hoping to start it very soon. This one is a mafia arranged marriage scarred hero. He hates everyone but her. She tries to kill him. Opposites attract. And that is super intriguing to me. So yeah, I definitely want to try this one. This one also says it has portions of ASL included in it, which is really cool. So yeah, I definitely want to give this one a go. He's deathless and she's trying to find a reason to live. So a dark age gap romance. That looks amazing. We can't wait to get to that for sure. Okay, there is Hit the Ground by Julia Wolf, which will be book 3 in the Kelly Ranch series. I just received my ARC for this one, and I gotta tell you, as always, when Julia Wolf hits, I'm about ready to tell everybody else to go cool it because I want to read her book first. I am holding myself off just a little bit, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to wait because this one's Caleb, the single dad. Look at this cover, you guys. I know I'm already showing it, but I'm obsessed with it, okay? This is Alice, who I believe she's working at the bar or the restaurant or something. We've seen her in previous books. We have Dad Bod Caleb, who's also the cowboy who runs the ranch. He is so giving off Daddy Lachlan vibes. I cannot wait, okay? Caleb, I've been waiting for Caleb's book since before we even knew we were going to get the Kelly Ranch series. We were introduced to little Caleb in another series, right? Because, Julia Wolf knows where her bread is buttered and she knows people love Lachlan and Elena, okay? And so they kept showing up, right? So we really should have known we were going to get more of them. But we see baby Caleb, little boy Caleb, in a previous book, and I already knew that I was going to love him. And if he is going to be a lot like his dad and just have little bits of his mom in him, I am just going to eat that for days. Okay, I'm going to eat that for days. So I cannot wait for Hit the Ground. It's going to be fantastic. Coming very soon for us, for sure. Next up, there is also Fallen City by Adrienne Young. I believe this one is going to be Adrienne Young's debut adult fantasy. Like so many YA fantasy authors these days, they are tiptoeing into adult fantasy. I meant to look this one up. Let me do that right now, actually, because when I requested that one, it had been so long, I don't remember what this one was about here. Let me pull it up quick. Yeah, this one's set for November 4th, and oh, that's right. Okay. So this one says, in the great walled city of Izara, political turmoil ignites a rebellion 100 years in the making. But when a legionnaire falls in love with a magistrate's daughter, their love will threaten the fate of the city and the will of the gods. Yes, this is why I signed up for that, baby. This is why I signed up for that. So, forbidden romance for Luca and Meyers. So that is what I signed up for here. Now, it does say this is going to be a duology, so that makes me a bit nervous about where it'll end, but we got that one that I have, so hopefully I'll get to that one. There's also Blackthorn by J.T. Geisinger. This is a fantasy romance / paranormal coming from her. I do have both an ebook and an ALC for this one. I will be reading it very soon. Actually, I just got approved for the audio last week, so that bumped it up my timeline. I want to get to it very soon. I don't know if everyone knows this, but JT actually started by writing paranormal / fantasy because she was inspired by Twilight and other paranormal genre fiction she was reading back in the day. And so I'm very excited to see her return to that and to write an adult like fantasy because I'm very intrigued, of course. I mean, I do love her stories. What Happens This Christmas by Dani Ryan. You guys know I don't read too many Christmassy style books. So again, I'm reading See You Next Winter, which is like a Christmas break romance. But I was asked if I wanted to read What Happens This Christmas. I believe I'm getting a PR box for that one. So I'm going to give it a go. I don't think I've read a Dani Ryan, but I believe this is an author duology. But I've seen them around for a really long time, and I think they're along the lines of like a Lauren Blakely or Piper Rain or something like that. And I think it's a billionaire romance, Christmassy. So I was like, hey, we'll give that one a try. When We Breathe by Kristen Proby. This, you guys, I cannot tell you the excitement I have, okay? This one will be novella length, and it's set in the Blackwells of Montana, and it is a MMF, okay? Now, we've already had teases of this throuple, okay? We already know they're a thing. We've seen them in the background of 2 different books now, and when she teased us with it, I think she did that to see if people would be interested, right? Because from what I know, I don't believe Kristen Proby has written much, thruples or polyamory. I don't know. I know she's written a lot more books than I think she has, right? I've only really been reading her the past couple years, but I had read her before. Only 1 or 2, right? But this one is going to be an MMF. It's going to be a shorter one, but she is giving us this book, and there will be an audio for it. And it is Swords Crossing. This is MMF. It's not MFM. It's MMF, and I cannot wait. And this comes out, I believe, November 4th or 6th. There's a whole bunch coming out November. November 4th is like a mega release day, okay? And then Silver and Smoke by Helen S. And this will be the 3rd and final book in the Ashes of Thesmar trilogy. And we will get to see what is happening with Ren and Torge. Cannot wait for this one. I am signed up for an ARC, but I may end up waiting for the audiobook like I have with the previous 2. Because the way that she does it, she releases it in the US about like 2 weeks before it gets released wide. And when it gets released wide, there is an audiobook, and the audios have been excellent, so I may wait for the audio, but I'm very, very excited. I love Ren and Torge. Like, they are in my top couples this year, and the cliffhanger for book 2 wasn't as bad as the one for book 1. Book 1 was like gut-wrenching. This one was more like, ooh, what are we doing, right? Like, there's a lot of court intrigue and some really big life-changing things that happened in book 2, so I cannot wait for Silver and Smoke. I am pumped for that one. Hold Me Tight by Jennifer S. I will be having an ALC of that one. This is the next one in her hockey series. I really enjoyed the first one in that, so I did sign up for the next. Sleigh Bells and Snowstorms from Claire Kingsley will be coming. This one I will be getting an audiobook for as well. This is supposed to be set in Tillicum, and it's another nice little Christmas side jaunt for Claire. I can't remember if it's novella length or not. It may be novella length. But either way, it'll be fun, and I'm signed up for that one. We'll also have Jensen by Rhea Morris Edwards coming. So excited for this one. Again, I do not know if I'm getting an arc of it. I hope so, but even if I don't get an arc of it, I will read it just as soon as possible when it comes out. She, I believe, also does like audios out the day that it comes out. So if I don't get an arc and read it ahead of time, I will dive into the audiobook when it comes out. Because, yeah, just loved this series so much. 7 Days a Duchess by Emmy West. This will also be an audiobook, and this is the next one after oh man, I don't even remember. What was that first one called? The Marchioness something was book 1. Marchioness Overnight was book 1. And then 7 Days a Duchess is this one. So I don't even know what it's about, but it's going to be a historical romance offered from Must Love Audio. And whenever they offer me historical romance, I snap it up because I want to read more of those. Okay, so Walking in Darkness by A.L. Jackson is supposed to be coming. Now, this is supposed to be the second half of the duet that came out earlier this year. That is kind of a new adult / almost YA age fantasy romance with fated mates. It had a really crazy cliffhanger. I don't see the publisher doing much promotion for this one, so I wonder, and I don't mean this to be cruel. I love A.L. Jackson, okay? Love her stuff. But I wonder if book 1 didn't do as well as expected because I have barely seen any promo for this second one here. In fact, I signed up for the audio with Valentine PR, whereas when I read book 1, it was like the publisher who reached out and asked me if I wanted it. So very interesting how some things get changed around, but I'm interested enough to continue. As I've said, A.L. Jackson, I think her writing is made to be written it's made for fantasy writing, in my opinion, because a lot of her stories are very like purple prose and very like over the top done as is. And so it's very nice when it's changed up a little bit, like and put in fantasy. I think it works well. Okay, oh, I meant to grab this one. I also signed up for an ALC of Stick With Me by Nikki Callan. Now, Nikki actually sent me a early copy of this book back when it came out, and you guys know I am not the best at getting to them sometimes. It just happens. But this is a hockey romance. I believe I can't remember if it's a second chance or whatever, but I do think they've known each other before. And it's a hockey coach, and then I can't remember what her job is, but I have a physical copy of this book, and it's getting made into audio, and you guys know that always gets exciting for me because audiobooks are a lot easier for me to get through lots of books in that case. So very excited about that. Born for Marble by Nikki Harris. Yes, the third book in her dark dystopian kind of a fantasy is coming. And this couple, I'm very excited. So if you don't know, this, is a dark dystopian world where people all fit into basically different like categories of what your job is and stuff like that. And there are also some beings who are like altered humans of a like different caliber. Like literally they are like part cyborg or something like that. And this one is actually supposed to be the king's sister has a very special role, and this is her romance with her bodyguards. It's a very forbidden romance and everything. Those books are always so hard to explain. You know, when you have a fantasy or a sci-fi that you just really enjoy it, but how you explain it to people is always kind of like, well, it goes like this. You know, it's just difficult to explain, but I have loved Born for Silk and Born for, what are they? Born for Silk and Born for, Lace. Born for Lace. Born for Silk and Born for Lace. And this one's Born for Marble. And there's going to be 6 books in this series, by the way, which is cool. Okay, there's also supposed to be Mountain Grump by S.J. Tilley. This one will be the 3rd book in her Mountain series. I assume it will be an age gap. I assume it will be an obsessed hero who is really kinky. And I assume it will be a plus-size heroine. And I also think this one is actually the Forest Ranger, so maybe a man in a uniform as well. But that is the categories that I put S.J. Tilley in with that. And if I get an audiobook for that one, I will listen to it. Otherwise, I'll get around to it when I have the time for that one. Then another arc I'm signed up for, and this one, just before I filmed, I got an email that I was approved for this arc, which was great, because if they wouldn't have emailed me that, I, for some reason, didn't get this one put into my spreadsheet, so I forgot about it, okay? So I have a spreadsheet with all my arcs, and the reason I have the spreadsheet is that when I sign up for books, sometimes I forget, and then I end up signed up for 17 million of them and didn't realize it, so I try to keep track. But this one I signed up for on a whim. It's a new-to-me author, but when I tell you what it's about, like, first, look at this cover. Like, hello, okay. And when I read the blurb, I was pretty intrigued by it, okay? Like, this looks great. So this is The Scandal You Started by Nyla Monroe. Never read this author before, but here's the blurb, okay? History has already been written, but now he wants to rewrite it with her. Okay? You getting excited? I'm excited. Being summoned to the Past-Only Time Machine Lab, or POTIM for short, mid-holiday wasn't exactly on the itinerary for historian Raina Faze. But with a Marquess from the past causing mayhem after his arrival to the present, she's required immediately as additional support. Though rather than the pompous, whining lord she expects, she finds herself being towered over by a flirtatious man with a wolfish grin and caressing hands that crack her professional demeanor. But Raina has no intention of admitting to the annoyingly enticing sensations he sparks within her. Ever. Dominic Evander Jonathan Thorne, the 8th Marquess of Norland, is far from happy with his situation upon coming to the future. But when Raina walks into his room at the lab, he's mesmerized by her beauty and fiery spirit. Determined to make the most of the few months he was working on a curation project with her, he tries endlessly to charm her between his lessons on the modern world and their trips to the museum. But with every passing day, he finds himself longing for the impossible, to be with her, to marry her, to love her forever. But between the rules forbidding their relationship and the invisible date of Dominic's return to his own time, can they uncover enough about the buried truths of the POTIM to make their happily ever after possible? Or will the project forever remember them as the scandal that should never have started? So I'm super intrigued by this, okay, which was why I had signed up for the ARC. You guys know I try to be picky with taking on new ones at this point. But I saw this cover and I read what it was. Now, I don't like to read a ton of time travel, but this one sounds so interesting because it's one where he's brought to the future. I always love ones where the man travels and it's to the future. Isn't that funny? So here's sorry, this is just a little side rant. Just think about it though. When you have these stories, it's usually, right, the woman goes to the past or the man goes to the future. It's very rarely the other way around, right? Why do you think that is? Okay, it's because the ladies want to be paired with an old-fashioned man, okay? We can lie all we want and say we want it the modern way, but when you're reading a romance, the woman goes to the past where she's around people from that time, or the man goes to the future where he's a man from that time brought to the future. Tell me I'm wrong, okay? Or, you know, I'm not trying to prove anyone wrong with it. I'm just saying that is how it usually goes. Like, think about it, like My Knight in Shining Armor, that's an older book from the days. He comes to the future. My Fantasy Lover, he comes to the future. And then there's ones where she goes to the past by quite a few different stories where she's the one going to the past. So anywho, I'm super intrigued by it, and I signed up for the ARC, and right before we were filming, I found out I was approved for it. So I'm going to try to stick with that one. Now, just a few more to mention. Empire of the Dawn by Jay Kristoff is not an ARC or an ALC. I have pre-ordered it. I will be getting it when it comes out. And I plan to push anything out of my way to read that one, because I'm very much looking forward to it. Now, book club. So we don't have the date picked yet. I meant to get that finalized with Crystal before I filmed, but such is life. It will probably be the second or third Wednesday in November, because we have this book club quarterly and we read 2 books. I pick a book and Crystal picks a book. And for our November, aka our autumn one, I picked The Tribune Temptation by Jenna Bigelow. I've been wanting to get to this book all year, pretty much. Her series, her Roman heirs, this is literally ancient historical romance. It does have open door scenes. This one is a marriage of convenience, I believe, and I can't wait to give it a go. I love this cover. Love it, love it, love it, love it all. So that is the book that I picked. And then Crystal picked Of Lands High and Low by Martha Keyes. I do believe this one is a closed door romance, just to let everyone know, but it's also a medieval Scottish romance, if I'm correct, which that sounds amazing to me. I don't mind. I don't need more. Like, that sounds so good. And I haven't read either one of these authors we're going to be doing, and that's one of my favorite things to do with our book club. So keep an eye out. Follow me and Crystal if you want to know when book club is. But again, we'll probably announce that in the next couple days. I'll ask her about that. And it'll probably be the second or third Wednesday in November. Okay? So those will be the books for that. And then finally, I haven't actually picked them yet, so I won't go into it. But if you just saw my last video, I had the 10 until the end, or before the end video I did, which is 10 books I want to get to before the end of the year. And I will try to pick 3 or 4 of those books to read in November as well. I just don't know which ones yet, and I just filmed that video, so I don't want to talk about the books again right now. I know that's weird, but you guys can watch that one to see. My guess is that I will try to get to the Michelle Hurd that is on that list, and the K.A. Knight, and probably the Minerva Spencer. Those are the ones I'm kind of thinking of. So I will put those on the TBR if that's what happens. So anywho, those are the books I'm hoping to read in November. Let me know which books you're looking forward to and all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.